Imagine being at your absolute lowest point, crying alone in a parking lot with nowhere to turn, when a complete stranger changes your life with just 5 words. Emily Carter thought she had lost everything: her job, her home, her hope. But sometimes salvation comes from the most unexpected places, in the most unexpected forms. Before we dive into this incredible story, please subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and let me know in the comments where you're watching from. Your support means everything. The fluorescent lights of the grocery store cast long shadows across the empty parking lot. Inside her beat-up Honda, Emily's world was falling apart. I sat in my car, hands gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles turned white. The eviction notice crumpled on the passenger seat felt like a death sentence. 24 hours. That's all I had left. My phone buzzed. Another text from Jake's lawyer about custody. My stomach twisted into knots. "Mommy, are we going home now?" Lily's sleepy voice came from the back seat. I turned to look at my 5-year-old daughter, her blonde curls messy from our day of apartment hunting. How could I tell her we didn't have a home to go to? "In a minute, baby," I whispered, my voice cracking. The tears came then, hot, angry tears that I'd been holding back all day. I pressed my face into my hands and sobbed. The sound echoed in the small car, mixing with the hum of the grocery store's air conditioning units. I thought about calling my sister again, but I already knew what she'd say. "I told you Jake was trouble. You should have listened." As if I needed reminding that my life was a disaster. The job interview this morning had been a joke. "We'll call you," they said. But I saw the look in their eyes when I mentioned I was a single mom. Nobody wants to hire someone who might need time off for sick kids or school events. My bank account showed 47.23, rent was $1,200. The math was simple and devastating. A black SUV pulled into the parking spot next to mine. I quickly wiped my eyes, embarrassed that someone might see me falling apart. But the tears kept coming. Through my blurry vision, I saw a woman get out of the SUV. She was elegant, put together in a way I hadn't been in months. Designer coat, perfect hair, the kind of confidence that comes with financial security. She walked toward the store, then stopped. Turned back toward my car. I held my breath, hoping she'd just keep walking. The last thing I needed was some stranger's pity. But she didn't walk away. Instead, she approached my driver's side window and gently tapped on the glass. I rolled it down a crack, trying to compose myself. "I'm sorry. I'm fine. I was just—" "No, you're not fine," she said softly. Her voice was warm, understanding. "And that's okay." I stared at her through the gap in my window. She had kind eyes, the color of coffee, and there was something in her expression that made me feel like she actually saw me. Not just another struggling single mom, but me. "I'm Olivia," she said, "and I can see you're going through something difficult." "I'm Emily," I managed to say. "And you're right. Everything's falling apart." Olivia glanced at Lily sleeping in the back seat, then back at me. "Do you have somewhere safe to go tonight?" The question hit me like a punch to the gut. I shook my head, fresh tears spilling over. "Okay," Olivia said, her voice steady and sure. "Here's what's going to happen." She opened my car door wider and looked me straight in the eyes. "Get out. You're coming with me. You and your daughter." "I can't just—" "Yes, you can." Her tone was gentle but firm. "I have a guest room, food in the fridge, and you both look like you need a safe place to land." I stared at her, shocked. "You don't even know me." Olivia smiled, and for the first time in weeks, I felt something other than despair. Sometimes that's exactly when we need to help each other most. She stepped back and gestured toward her SUV. "Come on, Emily. You're safe with me." I couldn't believe I was actually doing this, following a complete stranger to her car with my sleeping daughter in my arms. But something about Olivia felt different, safe. "Just put her in the back seat," Olivia said, opening the door to her pristine SUV. "There's a blanket back there." I settled Lily into the leather seat, tucking the soft blanket around her small frame. She stirred slightly but didn't wake up. Thank God. I didn't know how to explain the situation to a 5-year-old when I barely understood it myself. "Your car will be fine here overnight," Olivia said as I buckled myself into the passenger seat. We can figure out the details tomorrow. The interior of her SUV smelled like vanilla and leather. Everything was immaculate, from the spotless dashboard to the perfectly organized center console. It was like stepping into a different world. "I need you to know," I said as she started the engine, "I'm not usually the type of person who accepts help from strangers. I don't know what came over me." Olivia pulled out of the parking lot, her movements smooth and confident. Desperation has a way of making us do things we never thought we would. Her words hung in the air between us. There was something in her tone that made me think she spoke from experience. "Can I ask what you do for work?" I said, trying to fill the silence. "I own a consulting firm, business strategy, mostly." She glanced at me briefly. "What about you?" "I was a marketing coordinator at a tech startup," was being the operative phrase. "They laid off half the staff last month." "I'm sorry. That's rough." "It gets worse," I found myself saying. "My ex-husband is trying to get full custody of Lily, says I can't provide a stable environment for her." Olivia's hands tightened on the steering wheel. "Is he right?" The question should have offended me, but her tone wasn't judgmental, just honest. "I don't know anymore," I admitted. "I got evicted today. I've been living paycheck to paycheck since the divorce. Maybe he is right. Maybe she'd be better off with him. Where's he been while you've been struggling? Living with his new girlfriend in her condo, playing happy family when it's convenient for him." Olivia was quiet for a moment. When she spoke again, her voice was softer. "I lost someone once, someone I thought I'd spend my life with." I turned to look at her profile in the dim light from the dashboard. "I'm sorry. Cancer. 3 years ago." She took a deep breath. "Sarah was everything. We were planning to adopt a child together. Had the whole future mapped out." My heart clenched. "That's devastating." It was. And for a long time after, I thought I'd never feel anything again. Just went through the motions. Work, home, sleep, repeat. "What changed?" She smiled slightly. "Tonight, actually. Seeing you in that parking lot reminded me what it feels like to care about someone else's pain." We drove through a neighborhood I'd never seen before. Large houses set back from the road, mature trees lining the streets. The kind of place I'd driven through but never imagined living in. "This is me," Olivia said, turning into a circular driveway. The house was beautiful, not ostentatious but clearly expensive. Warm light glowed from several windows, making it look welcoming despite its size. "Olivia," I said as she parked, "I need you to know that I'm not looking for charity. I don't know how to repay this kindness." She turned off the engine and looked at me directly. "I'm not doing this out of charity, Emily. I'm doing it because I recognize something in you." "What's that?" "Strength. Even when you think you're broken, you're still fighting for your daughter. That takes courage." Lily stirred in the back seat, blinking sleepily. "Mommy? Where are we?" "We're visiting a new friend, sweetheart," I said, my voice steadier than I felt. "Her name is Olivia." Olivia turned around to smile at Lily. "Hi there, beautiful. Are you hungry? I think I have some mac and cheese in the kitchen." Lily's eyes lit up. "The kind with the orange cheese?" "The very best kind," Olivia confirmed. As we walked toward the front door, I felt something I hadn't experienced in months. Hope. It was fragile and uncertain, but it was there. Olivia unlocked the door and gestured for us to enter first. "Welcome home," she said quietly, and for the first time in a long time, I almost believed it might be true. Olivia's house was even more beautiful inside than out. Hardwood floors gleamed under soft lighting, and everything had a place, but it wasn't cold or sterile. There were personal touches everywhere. Books stacked on side tables, a throw blanket draped over the couch, fresh flowers in a vase by the window. "The guest room is upstairs," Olivia said, leading us through the living room. "But first, let's get this little one fed." Lily had perked up considerably at the mention of mac and cheese. She followed Olivia into the kitchen like they'd been friends forever, chattering about her favorite foods and asking a million questions. "Do you have a little girl too?" Lily asked, as Olivia pulled a box of pasta from the pantry. "No, sweetheart. It's just me here." "That must be lonely," Lily said. with the brutal honesty that only children possess. Olivia paused, her hand still on the pantry door. Sometimes it is. I watched this exchange from the kitchen doorway, my heart doing something complicated in my chest. There was a gentleness in the way Olivia spoke to Lily, a natural ease that surprised me. "Can I help?" I asked, needing something to do with my hands. "You can sit," Olivia said firmly. "When's the last time you ate a real meal?" I tried to remember. "Yesterday, I think. Maybe the day before." Olivia gave me a look that was part concern, part exasperation. "Sit down." I sat at the kitchen island and watched her work. Her movements were efficient but unhurried, like someone who found comfort in taking care of others. She made the mac and cheese for Lily, then started pulling ingredients from the refrigerator for something more substantial. "Tell me about your daughter," she said as she chopped vegetables. "Lily's amazing. She's smart, funny, resilient. Sometimes I think she handles our situation better than I do. Kids are tougher than we give them credit for." "Were you and Sarah together long?" I asked, then immediately regretted it. "Sorry, that's too personal." 7 years, Olivia said without hesitation. "We met at a conference. She was a pediatric nurse, had this way of making everyone around her feel special." She continued cooking as she talked, her voice steady but soft. "We bought this house together, picked out paint colors, argued about furniture placement. She wanted to turn the spare room into a nursery. It sounds like you had something beautiful." We did, and then one day she found a lump, and everything changed. Lily had finished her mac and cheese, and was now coloring at the kitchen table with crayons Olivia had somehow produced from a drawer. The normalcy of it all felt surreal. "I kept the house exactly the way it was," Olivia continued. "Couldn't bring myself to change anything until tonight." "What's different about tonight?" She looked at me, then at Lily. "Tonight it feels like a home again, instead of a museum." We ate dinner together at the kitchen table. Grilled chicken, roasted vegetables, and rice that tasted better than anything I'd had in weeks. Lily told Olivia about her favorite books, and her stuffed elephant named Peanut. Olivia listened like every word was fascinating. "Mommy?" Lily said as she finished eating. "Can we stay here forever?" My cheeks burned. "Lily, we're just visiting." "Actually," Olivia interrupted gently, "you're welcome to stay as long as you need to get back on your feet." I stared at her. "Olivia, I can't ask you to—" "You're not asking, I'm offering. But why? You don't know anything about me. I could be a terrible person. I could steal from you, or are you a terrible person?" "No, but are you planning to steal from me?" "Of course not. But then we're good." She smiled. "Besides, I have excellent instincts about people." After dinner, Olivia showed us to the guest room. It was spacious and comfortable, with a queen bed and a small sitting area by the window. She'd even found a sleeping bag for Lily, who thought camping indoors was the best adventure ever. "There are towels in the bathroom across the hall," Olivia said, "and help yourself to anything in the kitchen." "Olivia," I said as she turned to leave. "Thank you." "I don't know how to—" "You don't have to thank me, Emily. We're helping each other." "How am I helping you?" She paused in the doorway, her expression thoughtful. "You're reminding me what it feels like to be needed." After she left, I tucked Lily into her sleeping bag and sat on the edge of the bed. For the first time in months, I felt safe. Not just physically safe, but emotionally safe. Like maybe everything wasn't falling apart after all. "Mommy," Lily whispered in the dark. "I like Olivia." "She's nice." "She is, baby. Do you think she's lonely?" I thought about the way Olivia had lit up when Lily talked to her, the careful way she'd preserved her house like a shrine to her lost love. "Yeah, sweetheart. I think she might be. Maybe we can keep her company for a while." I smiled in the darkness. Maybe we can. I woke up to the smell of coffee and pancakes. For a moment, I forgot where I was. Then reality came flooding back. The parking lot, Olivia's kindness, the guest room that felt more comfortable than anywhere I'd slept in months. Lily was already awake, sitting by the window and talking to her stuffed elephant. "Peanut, we're in a really nice house. The lady here makes good food." "Good morning, you two," I said, stretching. "Mommy, Olivia said she's making pancakes shaped like animals." I could hear movement in the kitchen downstairs, the gentle clatter of dishes, and the low hum of morning news on the television. It felt domestic in a way that made my chest tight with longing. When we made it downstairs, Olivia was at the stove, flipping what looked like a pancake shaped like a butterfly. She was dressed for work, a tailored blazer and slacks that probably cost more than my monthly grocery budget, but she looked completely at ease in her kitchen. "Good morning," she said, smiling at us. "I hope you slept well." "Better than I have in weeks," I admitted. "Lily, I made you a butterfly and an elephant. Which one do you want first?" Lily clapped her hands together. "The elephant. Like Peanut." I watched Olivia serve my daughter breakfast with the same care she might show a treasured guest. There was something almost reverent about the way she interacted with Lily, like she was handling something precious. "I have to go to work soon," Olivia said, pouring me a cup of coffee. "But I wanted to talk to you about a few things first." My stomach clenched. Here it comes, I thought. The conditions. The timeline. The reality check. "I've been thinking about your situation," she continued, sitting across from me at the kitchen island. "And I might have some ideas. Olivia, you've already done more than enough. Hear me out." She held up a hand. "My company sometimes needs freelance marketing help, project-based work, flexible schedule. It's not a permanent solution, but it might give you some breathing room while you look for something full-time." I stared at her. "You'd hire me? I'd give you a chance to prove yourself. There's a difference." "What's the catch?" Olivia smiled. "No catch. Just good work in exchange for fair pay." Lily was happily eating her elephant pancake, oblivious to the life-changing conversation happening around her. I felt tears prick at my eyes again. But this time, they weren't tears of despair. "Why are you doing this?" I asked quietly. Olivia was quiet for a moment, stirring her coffee thoughtfully. "Can I tell you something about the night Sarah died?" I nodded. I was at the hospital holding her hand. She was barely conscious, but she looked at me and said, "Don't disappear, Liv. Don't let this make you disappear." Her voice caught slightly, but that's exactly what I did. I disappeared into work, into this house, into a life that felt safe because it was empty. And now? Now I'm remembering what it feels like to be present, to matter to someone. Lily looked up from her breakfast. "Olivia, do you want to see my elephant? His name is Peanut and he's very smart." "I would love to meet Peanut," Olivia said, her whole face lighting up. As Lily ran upstairs to get her stuffed animal, Olivia turned back to me. "I need to ask you something, and I want you to be honest." "Okay." "Your ex-husband, is he a good father?" The question caught me off guard. He loves Lily, but he's selfish. He wants custody because it looks good, not because he wants the responsibility." "What do you mean?" "He remarried 6 months after our divorce was final. His new wife Amanda, she's great with kids. I think Jake sees Lily as a way to complete their perfect family picture." Olivia's expression darkened. "And what does Lily want?" "She wants to stay with me, but she's 5. The court might not consider her opinion." "When's the custody hearing?" 2 weeks. Olivia nodded slowly. "I know some good family lawyers, people who fight for mothers like you." "I can't afford—" "Let me worry about that." I felt overwhelmed by her generosity. "Olivia, I can't keep taking from you. It's not fair." "Emily." She reached across the table and covered my hand with hers. 3 years ago, I thought my life was over. I had money, success, a beautiful house, but none of it meant anything without someone to share it with. Her hand was warm, steady. "You and Lily, you're giving me something I thought I'd lost forever." "What's that?" "Purpose. The feeling that what I do matters to someone other than myself." Lily came bounding back into the kitchen, Peanut clutched in her arms. "Olivia, Peanut wants to know if you have any other stuffed animals he can be friends with." Olivia's eyes met mine over Lily's head, and something passed between us. Understanding, maybe, or recognition. "You know what, Lily? I think I might have a few friends for Peanut upstairs. Should we go look?" As I watched Olivia lead my daughter upstairs to search for toys that had probably been waiting in a nursery that never got used, I realized something that scared and thrilled me in equal measure. I was falling for this woman, this generous, broken, beautiful woman. who was putting my life back together with the same care she'd once planned a future that never came to be. And for the first time since my divorce, that didn't feel like a disaster waiting to happen. It felt like hope. 3 days had passed since that night in the parking lot, and I was starting to feel human again. Olivia had been true to her word about the freelance work. I'd already completed 2 small projects for her company, and the money, while not huge, was enough to make me feel less like a charity case. But it was the small moments that were changing everything. Like this morning, when I came downstairs to find Olivia teaching Lily how to make French toast, both of them covered in flour and giggling like old friends. Or yesterday evening, when we'd all fallen asleep on the couch watching a Disney movie, and I'd woken up with Olivia's hand resting gently on my shoulder. "Mommy, look!" Lily called from the backyard, where she was playing with a soccer ball Olivia had mysteriously produced. Olivia taught me how to kick it really far. I watched from the kitchen window as Olivia cheered for every one of Lily's attempts, no matter how far off target they went. There was something different about Olivia when she was with Lily. Softer, more relaxed. Like she was remembering how to be playful. "She's a natural with kids," I said when Olivia came inside for water. "She makes it easy," Olivia replied, but I caught the wistful note in her voice. "You and Sarah, you really wanted children." "We did. We'd been approved for adoption, actually. Had our home study done, all the paperwork ready." She leaned against the counter, watching Lily through the window. "We were supposed to meet a birth mother the week after Sarah's diagnosis." "I'm sorry. That must have been devastating." "It was. But watching Lily these past few days..." She trailed off, then looked at me directly. "It's healing something I didn't know was still broken." There was something in her eyes that made my breath catch. An intensity that went beyond kindness or even friendship. "Emily," she said softly, "can I ask you something?" "Of course." "When you were married, were you happy?" The question surprised me. I thought I was, but looking back, I think I was just comfortable. Jake and I, we were good on paper. Similar backgrounds, shared goals, but there was never any spark. "What about now? Are you looking for that spark?" My heart started beating faster. "I don't know if I'm ready for that. My life is such a mess, and Lily has to be my priority." What if someone understood that? What if they wanted to be part of helping you rebuild? Not just for you, but for Lily too. I stared at her, hardly daring to believe what I was hearing. "Olivia, I know this is complicated," she said quickly. "I know you're vulnerable right now, and I don't want to take advantage of that. But I also can't pretend I don't feel something happening between us." Before I could respond, Lily burst through the back door. "Mommy, Olivia, come see. I kicked the ball all the way to the fence." We spent the rest of the afternoon in the backyard, the 3 of us playing an improvised game of soccer that involved more laughing than actual ball kicking. As the sun started to set, we moved to the patio, where Olivia had set up a small fire pit. "This is the best day ever," Lily declared, snuggled between us on the outdoor couch, roasting marshmallows for s'mores. "It really is," Olivia agreed, and when she looked at me over Lily's head, I saw everything I was feeling reflected in her eyes. Later, after Lily had fallen asleep upstairs, Olivia and I sat by the dying fire with glasses of wine. "I need to tell you something," I said, my courage bolstered by the wine and the intimacy of the evening. "What's that?" "I'm scared." "Of what?" "Of this. Of how I feel about you. Of how Lily feels about you." I took a shaky breath. "Of how much it's going to hurt when this ends." Olivia set down her wine glass and turned to face me fully. "What makes you think it has to end? Because good things don't happen to me, Olivia. I get divorced. I lose my job. I get evicted. I don't get rescued by beautiful women who make my daughter laugh and make me feel like I might actually deserve happiness. Emily." Olivia reached for my hand. "What if you do deserve it? What if we both do?" I looked down at our joined hands. Hers so much steadier than mine. "I don't know how to do this. I've never felt this way about a woman before." "Have you ever felt this way about anyone before?" I thought about it honestly. "No, never like this." "Then we'll figure it out together." She lifted our joined hands and pressed a soft kiss to my knuckles. The gesture was so tender, so full of promise, that I felt tears spring to my eyes. "Olivia, what if Jake finds out? What if he uses this against me in the custody case? Then we'll deal with it. Together. You don't understand. You could lose everything. Your reputation. Your business. Emily. She cupped my face with her free hand. I already lost everything once. I know what that feels like. This feels like finding everything I didn't know I was looking for. The space between us seemed to shrink. I could smell her perfume, see the flecks of gold in her brown eyes, feel the warmth of her breath. "Can I kiss you?" she whispered. Instead of answering, I closed the distance between us. Her lips were soft, tentative at first, then more sure as I kissed her back. It was nothing like kissing Jake had been. Dutiful, expected, routine. This was electric, desperate, like coming home and setting off fireworks at the same time. When we broke apart, we were both breathing hard. "Wow," I whispered. "Yeah," Olivia agreed. "Wow." We sat there in the firelight, foreheads touching, and I felt something shift inside me. Not just attraction or gratitude, but something deeper. Something that felt dangerously close to love. "What happens now?" I asked. "Now we take it one day at a time," Olivia said, "and we see where this goes." As if summoned by our conversation, my phone buzzed with a text message. Jake's name appeared on the screen, and my stomach dropped. "What is it?" Olivia asked, seeing my expression. I read the message aloud. "Heard you're staying with some woman. Hope you're not exposing Lily to anything inappropriate. See you in court." The spell of the evening was broken. Reality came crashing back. The custody battle. The uncertainty. The fact that my happiness could be used as a weapon against me. "He's having me watched," I said, my voice hollow. Olivia's jaw tightened. "Then we'll be ready for him." But as I looked at her determined expression in the firelight, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was about to lose everything I'd just found. The call came at 7 a.m, jarring me awake from the first peaceful sleep I'd had in months. Jake's lawyer, his voice cold and professional, informing me that they were moving up the custody hearing. 3 days from now, instead of 2 weeks. "On what grounds?" I asked, my hand shaking as I held the phone. "New evidence regarding your living situation and its potential impact on the minor child." I hung up and immediately started packing. Lily was still asleep, and Olivia had already left for an early meeting. But I couldn't wait. I had to get out of here before I made things worse for everyone. "Mommy?" Lily appeared in the doorway, rubbing her eyes. "What are you doing?" "We need to go, sweetheart. We're going to stay somewhere else for a while." "But I like it here. And what about Olivia?" My heart broke at the confusion in her voice. "Olivia has been very kind to us, but we can't stay here anymore." "Why not?" "How do you explain to a 5-year-old that loving someone could cost you everything?" I was stuffing our clothes into garbage bags when I heard Olivia's car in the driveway. Panic shot through me. I wasn't ready for this conversation. "Emily?" Olivia's voice carried up the stairs. "What's going on?" She appeared in the doorway of the guest room, taking in the scene. Me frantically packing, Lily sitting on the bed looking lost and confused. "Jake moved up the hearing," I said without looking at her. "His lawyer called this morning. They know I'm staying here." "So?" "So I can't give them ammunition to use against me." Olivia stepped into the room and gently took the clothes from my hands. "Emily, stop. Let's talk about this." "There's nothing to talk about. I have to think about Lily. I am thinking about Lily." Olivia's voice was firm. "Running away isn't going to help her. Staying here and playing house with you isn't going to help her either." The words came out harsher than I intended, and I saw Olivia flinch. Lily started to cry. "Mommy, why are you yelling?" I knelt down and pulled my daughter into my arms. "I'm sorry, baby. Mommy's just scared." "Scared of what?" "Scared of losing you." Olivia sat on the edge of the bed, her voice gentle. "Emily, running away isn't going to solve this. If anything, it makes you look unstable. And staying here makes me look like I'm prioritizing my love life over my daughter's well-being. Is that what you think this is? A love life?" I looked at her then, really looked at her. Her hair was slightly mussed from the wind, her makeup not quite perfect. She looked vulnerable in a way I'd never seen before. "I don't know what this is," I admitted. "But I know I can't risk Lily because of it." What if I told you that you don't have to choose? What do you mean? Olivia took a deep breath. I called my lawyer this morning after you told me about Jake's threats. She's one of the best family attorneys in the state. Olivia, I can't afford... She's taking your case pro bono, as a favor to me. I stared at her. Why would you do that? Because I love you. The words hung in the air between us. Lily had stopped crying and was looking back and forth between us like she was watching a tennis match. You love me? I whispered. I love both of you, and I'm not going to let Jake take Lily away from you just because he's threatened by the fact that you're building a life without him. But what if... Emily... Olivia cupped my face in her hands. What if we fight? What if we win? What if we stop being so afraid of losing everything that we forget to fight for what we want? I don't know how to fight someone like Jake. He has money, lawyers, a stable marriage. And you have something he doesn't. What's that? You have love. Real, unconditional, put your child first love, and you have me. Lily tugged on my sleeve. Mommy, I don't want to leave Olivia. She makes the best pancakes, and she taught me how to kick the soccer ball, and she reads me stories with funny voices. I looked at my daughter, then at Olivia, then at the half-packed bags scattered around the room. What if we lose? I asked quietly. Then we lose fighting, Olivia said. Together. My phone rang. Jake's number. I almost didn't answer, but Olivia nodded encouragingly. Hello, Jake. Emily, I think we need to talk. Face to face. About what? About what's best for Lily. I'm coming over. You don't know where I am. I know exactly where you are. I'll be there in an hour. He hung up before I could respond. He's coming here, I said, my voice barely above a whisper. Olivia stood up, her expression determined. Good. Let him come. Olivia, you don't understand. Jake can be... I don't care what Jake can be. This is my house, and you're my family now. He doesn't get to intimidate you here. Family. The word hit me like a physical blow. When was the last time I'd felt like I belonged to a family? Are you sure about this? I asked. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. Lily climbed into Olivia's lap. Is the mean man coming here? Your daddy's coming to visit, Olivia said gently, and we're going to show him how strong and brave your mommy is. As I looked at them together, my daughter and the woman I was falling in love with, I felt something I hadn't experienced in years. I felt ready to fight. Jake arrived exactly 1 hour later, just as he'd promised. I watched from the living room window as he got out of his BMW, straightening his tie and surveying Olivia's house with obvious calculation. He was dressed for intimidation. Expensive suit, perfect hair, the kind of confidence that came from never having to worry about where your next meal was coming from. Remember, Olivia said quietly, standing beside me. This is our home. He's the visitor here. Lily was upstairs playing with the toys Olivia had found for her, blissfully unaware of the battle about to unfold below. The doorbell rang. Olivia squeezed my hand once, then went to answer it. You must be Jake, she said, her voice politely neutral. I'm Olivia Bennett. Ms. Bennett. Jake stepped into the foyer without being invited, his eyes already cataloging everything he saw. Thank you for hosting my family. The way he said my family made my skin crawl, like Lily and I were possessions he'd temporarily misplaced. Emily and Lily are always welcome here, Olivia replied smoothly. Please, come in. We moved to the living room, where Jake took the chair across from the couch where Olivia and I sat together. I could see him taking note of our proximity, the way Olivia's hand rested protectively on my knee. Emily, Jake said, you look well. Better than the last time I saw you. What do you want, Jake? I want what's best for our daughter. And I think we both know that's not this. He gestured around the room, living off the charity of strangers, exposing Lily to alternative lifestyle choices. Careful, Olivia said, her voice still pleasant, but with an edge of steel underneath. Jake smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. Ms. Bennett, I appreciate your generosity toward my ex-wife, but surely you understand that a child needs stability, structure, a traditional family environment, like the traditional family environment you provided when you were cheating on Emily with your current wife. Olivia asked mildly. Jake's composure slipped for just a moment. That's ancient history, is it? Because from where I sit, it looks like you abandoned your family when things got difficult, and now you want to take Lily away from the parent who actually fought for her. I'm offering Emily a way out of this mess, Jake said, turning back to me. Drop the custody fight. Let Lily come live with Amanda and me. You can have visitation rights, of course. Supervised, initially. Supervised? I felt my temper flare. I'm her mother. You're a mother who was homeless 3 days ago, who's now living with a woman she barely knows, playing house and confusing our daughter about what a real family looks like. This is more of a real family than Lily ever had with you, I shot back. Emily. Olivia's voice was calm, grounding. Let me handle this. She turned to Jake, and I saw something in her expression that made me glad I wasn't on the receiving end of it. Mr. Carter, I think there are a few things you should know before you continue making threats in my home. Such as the fact that I've hired Rebecca Morrison to represent Emily in the custody case. Jake's face went pale. Even I knew that name. Rebecca Morrison was legendary in family law circles. I've also had a private investigator look into your finances, Olivia continued. Interesting how you claim to provide a stable environment for Lily, yet you're 3 months behind on your mortgage and your credit cards are maxed out. That's private information. So is Emily's living situation, yet here you are, using it against her. Olivia leaned forward slightly. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to drop this custody challenge. You're going to agree to the current visitation schedule, and you're going to stop harassing Emily. And if I don't, then Rebecca will present evidence to the court showing that you've been financially irresponsible, emotionally manipulative, and that your sudden interest in full custody coincides suspiciously with your new wife's desire to play mother to a ready-made family. Jake stood up abruptly. You can't buy your way out of this, Emily. The court will see through whatever game you're playing here. The only game being played here, I said, standing to face him, is yours. You don't want Lily because you love her. You want her because losing her makes you look bad. That's not true. Isn't it? When's the last time you called her just to say goodnight? When's the last time you remembered her favorite book or asked about her friends at school? Jake's jaw tightened. I've been busy building a stable life for her. You've been busy building a life that doesn't include her unless it's convenient. Daddy? Lily's small voice came from the stairway. She was sitting on the steps, clutching Peanut, having obviously heard more than we'd intended. My heart broke. Lily, sweetheart, come here. She ran to me, and I scooped her up, feeling her small body trembling slightly. Are you taking me away from Mommy? She asked Jake directly. Jake's expression softened for the first time since he'd arrived. Lily, I just want what's best for you. What's best for me is staying with Mommy. And Olivia makes really good pancakes. Despite everything, I almost smiled. Trust Lily to reduce complex legal battles to the quality of breakfast food. Jake looked at his daughter, then at me, then at Olivia. For a moment, I saw something like uncertainty cross his face. Lily, he said quietly. Do you like it here? I love it here. Olivia taught me how to play soccer, and she has a big backyard, and she reads me stories. And Mommy smiles again. Mommy smiles again? Lily nodded solemnly. She was sad for a long time, but now she's happy. Jake was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke again, his voice was different, smaller. Emily, can we talk? Alone? Olivia started to object, but I nodded. It's okay. We stepped onto the front porch, leaving Olivia and Lily inside. She seems happy, Jake said. She is happy, not looking at me. And you? Are you happy? I thought about the question. 3 days ago, I would have laughed at the absurdity of it. Now, yes. For the first time in years, I'm happy. Jake was quiet for a moment. I never made you happy, did I? We were young. We thought we wanted the same things. And now? Now I know what I actually want, and it's not a life that looks good on paper. It's a life that feels good in reality. Jake looked through the window at Olivia, who was now reading to Lily on the couch. She loves her, he said quietly. She loves both of us. And you love her. It wasn't a question, but I answered anyway. Yes, I do. Jake sighed. running a hand through his hair. "I don't want to be the villain in this story, Emily." "Then don't be." He was quiet for a long time. When he finally spoke, his voice was barely above a whisper. "I'll call off the custody challenge." Relief flooded through me so suddenly I had to grab the porch railing for support. "But I want regular visitation, real visitation, not just every other weekend. Of course. And I want to get to know her again, really know her. She'd like that." Jake nodded, then looked at me one more time. "For what it's worth, Emily, I'm sorry. For all of it. Thank you." After Jake left, I found Olivia and Lily still on the couch, now playing with a puzzle. "How did it go?" Olivia asked. "He's dropping the custody challenge." Olivia's face lit up. "Really?" "Really." Lily looked up from the puzzle. "Does that mean we get to stay here?" I looked at Olivia, suddenly uncertain. We'd been so focused on fighting Jake that we hadn't talked about what came after. "Do you want to stay here?" Olivia asked gently. "Forever and ever," Lily said immediately. "What about you?" Olivia asked me. I thought about everything that had brought me to this moment. The job loss, the eviction, the night in the parking lot when I thought I'd lost everything. How wrong I'd been. "Yes," I said, "if you'll have us." Olivia stood up and crossed to where I was standing. "Emily Carter, I would be honored to have you and Lily as my family." She kissed me then, soft and sweet and full of promise. When we broke apart, Lily was grinning at us. "Does this mean Olivia is going to be my other mommy?" I looked at Olivia, who had tears in her eyes. "If that's what you want, sweetheart," I said. "That's what I want," Lily said firmly. "But she has to keep making the animal pancakes." "I think I can manage that," Olivia laughed. 6 months later, I stood in the same parking lot where this all began. But this time I wasn't crying. I was picking up groceries for the dinner party we were hosting, our first official gathering as a family. Lily was in school, Olivia was at work, and I was running errands for the marketing business I'd started with Olivia's encouragement and support. As I loaded bags into the car, Olivia's car, which she'd insisted I use, I thought about that night when everything fell apart. How sometimes the worst moments of our lives are actually doorways to the best ones. My phone buzzed with a text from Olivia. "Can't wait to come home to my girls tonight. Love you both." I smiled as I typed back, "We love you too. You're safe with us." And for the first time in my life, I knew exactly what those words meant. If this story touched your heart, please subscribe to our channel and share it with someone who needs to hear that sometimes help comes from the most unexpected places. Let me know in the comments what part of Emily and Olivia's journey resonated most with you. Your stories matter too.